Friends, hello. I'm back with a very special story. Timely Umit upturns Tim. I wrote this quite a number of years ago, and once I retired, Keith Keynes was agreeable to doing the illustrations. We have become great friends, and he ended up illustrating two more of my stories. It is a story about changing one's mindset and also about being misunderstood. So our main character is Tim, and the other character is Umit. Now, interesting, if you take a look at Umit and Tim, the two names, do you see something very interesting and similar? Kinda, sorta. T-I-M is the way you spell Tim, but look how you spell Umit, U-M-I-T. It's Tim backwards with a U. Ha! And Umit is a Turkish name. This story takes place the 1950s in Turkey before the Caspian tigers became extinct in that area. I dedicated this story to Keith, who is trusting, tenacious, and a tiger of courage and honor. And you can hear more about his story in our film, which is on my YouTube channel, I'm Not an Artist. Outside Daylan, Turkey, lived Timiran, a teeny turtle who was called Tim. He lived between a trail and a creek where he would swim. He was timid, tender, tolerant, thankful, thoughtful, and always told the truth. Oh my goodness, can you tell what alliterative sound is going to be focused on in this story? Maybe T sound. He would go about his business quietly and politely, never being uncouth. As a tremendous listener, he had no thirst for talk. He was a bit of a loner, as shyness was his stumbling block. Friends, take a look at the beautiful illustrations. They were all done with pencil crayons. They are just stunning. And look what Keith did to indicate rain. Straight lines. He tenaciously focused on tasks in a trance-like state. Tenacious is very determined. He avoided others and stayed alone where he would hibernate. Some animals thought he was a snob with a thorny mindset, so they avoided him, thinking he was a threat. Slowly but surely, Tim became rigid, always needing to be in control. He did not share or surrender to others. He became like a gloomy troll. This growing negativity insulated Tim in a vacuum of isolation. He ended up being alone. Tim's solutions to problems lacked interaction or cooperation. A big shout out to Friesen Press, who published this story for me. Their graphic design artist put in all these wonderful graphic enhancements. One day, a thunderous storm descended without warning. As Tim dove into the creek, darkness overtook the morning. Torrential rains broke through the sky like a terror in a dark gray sheet. The heavy shower washed away the dust and thick, stifling heat. Tim. Its stinging, pelting attack destroyed the delicate and weak as it fell, filling streams and creeks until even the rivers did swell. Tsunami-like flow transported Tim, tossing, turning, and twisting him downstream. Terrified and traumatized, he choked away water. "Help! he screamed. After 10 hours, tides deposited trembling Tim 20 k's south of his home. Shocked, he lay silent, exhausted, covered in a light white foam. Lost in a dreamlike state of neither here nor there, he was tucked in his cozy shell. A hot breeze rhythmically blew across his dome, bringing a slight, gamey smell. Poking his head out to explore, he felt a hairy rug warming his soft underside. Dazed and dizzy, his eyes finally flickered, opening wide. His heart skipped a beat. He saw an endless furry striped rug of orange and black. This rug had a heartbeat, rising and falling. Then he heard a lick and a smack. Could this be? Was he resting on one of nature's mightiest beasts? Would he become this creature's next appetizer or mini feast? In seconds, he felt the damp, sandy tongue slowly roll across his roof. Without hesitating, he popped into his shell trailer home with a poof! Hearing a muted thump as he tumbled off into a bed of spongy mud, he now wondered why fate deliberately delivered him here after the flood. Tim again mustered up courage, his pulse powdering. He poked out his little head. Seeing a large head with 2 glassy yellow eyes stirred feelings of dread. Oh my goodness. A fang-decorated smile left him feeling vulnerable and cold. Tension in Timmy's tummy popped as the cat hissed, "Wow, what do I behold?" The tiger then said, "So where are you from? You're not from this neighborhood." Tim swallowed hard. 20 meters upstream along the trail next to the woods. The tiger licked his lips, surprised. "How did you end up here?" Timmy stammered. "I was swept up in the storm. Now I'm lost, I fear." The tiger explained, "My name is Umit. I have lived here since I was a cub. I travel far and wide, roaming 60 to 100 square kilometers as I hunt for my grub. Your problem, my friend, seems small to me, for I can run up to 65 km per hour. I could take you to your homeland in about 20 minutes with running power." Tim thought long and hard. Gee, I could get a ride with this giant orange-striped kitty. He does seem to be sincere. He's willing to show me kindness and some pity. Then doubt did rise quickly like a tidal wave of pending doom. Oh, can I trust him? He might eat me. I'll end up in my tomb. Umit could see nervous beads of sweat on Tim's wrinkled brow. "Tim, I do understand how you feel threatened right now. You may not believe this, but I myself have been threatened with death. Humans are ruining the ecosystem, killing Caspian tigers, taking away our breath. My friend, trust me, I have no interest in making you my afternoon snack. You're too small to satisfy any hunger. You're not tantalizing me, making my lips smack. Truly, I just want to help out a fellow creature of the earth in need." Tim thought, Umit seems honest and willing to do this good deed. But how do I know you're not lying or will trick me in the end? Sort of like maybe the gingerbread boy? What do you think? "Tim!" Umit roared, in pure frustration, building fear in his new friend. Umit then lowered his voice to a tender whisper. "I
Promise I will keep my word. Here's an idea. Why don't you ride on my head? That might be preferred.
Tim's face lit up. I could surrender, have faith and hope. Riding on his head is a safe place, and I can hold onto his fur like a rope. Taking a deep breath, Tim looked at Umit. Okay, it's a deal. He smiled. Slowly he crawled on top of Umit's head, looking like a cowboy in the wild. Confidently, Tim yelled, "Onward! Home, my transporter! Let us ride with the wind!" They were off at warp speed, scarcely touching the train. Tim's eyes bright as he grinned. Tim had never seen the world from such a magnificent height and speed. Awestruck wonder filled his heart, while his need to be in control and fear did recede. As promised, Umit delivered Tim home in what seemed like 2 shakes and a wink. Upon arrival, the other animals stood in shock, rubbing their eyes with a blink. Proudly, Tim crawled off of Umit's head and down over his wet snout. Umit rolled out his tongue while the animals watched in panic, ready to shout. Courageously and confidently, Tim crawled from the orange and black carpet to the ground. Tim turned to Umit and said, "Thank you. Your influence on me has been profound." Umit tenderly smiled, saying,
Tim, I think you've learned a thing or two about trust. I get the sense that your fears have disintegrated into dust.
"You're right, Umit. I feel free, and that negativity has been lifted. Today I learned to see the world differently. Thankfully, I have been gifted. You have shown me how acts of kindness bring flexibility, faith, hope, and joy, allowing the flowers of optimism and trust to bloom. Fear has been destroyed." So from that day on, Tim and Umit saw each other every Sunday afternoon. Tim became the transporter when local animals were displaced during monsoons. Tim's shyness withered away. He became known as the great listener and sage. His tenderness, tolerance, and thoughtfulness shone bright into his old age. And here, friends, are the 67 T words that were included in this story. And what I've done is added the meaning, the synonym, similar meaning to that word in red. So in case you don't know what that word means, you can look it up at the back of the book. In addition, I've also added some other interesting words here and a few links so you can look up information, research about Caspian tigers, the Nile turtle or river turtle, and the loggerhead turtle. Now, interesting, if you take a look, you'll see Keith's sketches of other friends of Tim's. And it's interesting because in Turkey there are weasels, squirrels, shrews, rats, rabbits, and otters too.